Well, welcome. I'm Drake Okie, and welcome to another edition of the Memphis Sting Report. I'm very honored today, as we said at our last Sting Report, that not only is this our homecoming week, it's also our first Hall of Fame since 1999. And we're very proud to have not only our committee members here today, but we also have not one but two new additions to our Memphis Athletic Hall of Fame. And I'd like to welcome everyone there. If you could please, Gino, start off as a committee member, who you are and what year you graduated from Memphis.
I'm Gene Letard, and I graduated in 1971.
Ted Sulikowski, 1968.
Ruth Sulikowski, 1969.
Chris Fitzpatrick, 2001.
And Mark?
Richmond, 1978.
Well, you've worked at Memphis quite a long time, haven't you?
Since-
You coached quite a lot.
Since 1989.
Now, Mark actually has dual roles. What we had done with Mark is he actually was voted in as head coach of the wrestling program. Mark, how long have you coached at the wrestling program here?
Since 1989, this will be 30 years this year.
Well, your accolades definitely warranted you being, nominated and then inducted in the Hall of Fame. We're proud to have you, not only as a committee member, but also as a new inductee. And then we have Chris Meldrum. Chris,
Yes, sir.
can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been teaching here, just finished my 20th year here at Memphis. I coached girls varsity basketball for, I believe it was 11 years. And one of our teams have gotten inducted, along with one of the player I coached.
Well, the nice thing, Chris, about your team being inducted, there was a lot of teams that we had looked at, and not having a Hall of Fame for so many years, it was kind of tough to narrow down just a couple of them, but yours was by far unanimously voted in by the committee. So I was proud to be able to come tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
That's got to be a heck of an honor as a head coach.
Big honor. Those girls, go 20-0, any league is a tough feat, and they had some tough games, but they did it. Gino knows his daughter was our point guard on that team, so it was a great, exciting year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Was it enjoyable for you to get a hold of all your old players?
It was. Thanks to Facebook, I got a hold of everybody. Some of them are out of state now. There's a couple in Arizona, one in Florida. One is flying back from Florida for this, but a couple of them couldn't make it because they are out of town.
That's awesome. Come back from Florida. She's going to be happy when she sees her.
Yeah.
But we'll try to make it a nice ceremony for her and for your whole team.
Great.
And we're very proud. Mark, again, being both not only a committee member, but as a coach, all those years, all those teams, any highlights that you can remember as a head coach?
Every year's a highlight. I don't like to compare. You can't compare teams from year to year other than to see the growth of the student athlete from a freshman to a senior. I mean, as a freshman, you want to see him grow up, but as a senior, you don't want to see him go because hopefully you've had them for 4 years and you're really vested time into them, they've vested time into you, and it's, with wrestling more than other sports, we like to say it's a family thing because you spend so much time. Our season is 3 months, and it's almost a constant 3 months. It's almost like similar to a military boot camp where you're with each other 6 days a week. So it's hard to pick out anything other than 30 years of good times.
Well, Chris, this has to be great for you. You've been, retired from coaching. Obviously, you still teach here.
Yeah.
But this has got to be a great honor, I would think, right, for your team?
Absolutely. Like I mentioned, this team had some tough games. We met a tough team in districts, of course, that we hadn't seen all year, but I got some good film on, but came right down to the wire. We ended up losing that game. First game of districts against Bentley, I believe, and they were regional finalists as well. And then, of course, coaching Lindsay Redlosk, the best basketball player woman that I've ever seen around this area. She could hang with any guy's team. She was a joy to coach, and not only just a great player, but a great person. She was a great teammate. She'd run through a wall if you asked her to. She was that kind of player. She would do anything to help her team. We asked her to score a lot, and she did, but she could pass the ball, rebound, do everything.
Well, I know when I came down and told you that you were voted in as a team, I know you were very excited. So obviously from what you're saying, there's no surprise that Lindsay is one of our inductees this year as well.
Yeah, you know, obviously the team was 20-0 was a great feat, of course, but Lindsay is very deserving. Had the opportunity when I first got here. I coached junior varsity girls basketball for 1 year and got to see her play as a sophomore on varsity. And the next year I took over the program and I got to coach her for 2 years, and just an amazing athlete. She had the opportunity the summer going into her senior year to go to Hawaii for a high exposure camp. And we went to one camp without her, and you know, it was kind of good for the girls to kind of see how it would work without her. And then we went to another camp with her, and the moment she came back, it was like, oh boy, this is good. And
You became a better coach, didn't you?
yeah, I'll never forget the first play at the camp too. We ran her off her screen. She came around and hit a shot just at the free throw line, and I looked at my assistant coach and I said, "Here we go." And the way we went the whole year. So.
Well, that's fantastic. I'm sure you're looking forward to seeing, you know, most of your girls there on Friday and get to spend some time with them. You know, now Mark, you know, you're sort of it's kind of a unique honor for you. You're being inducted by your, you know, what you've already accomplished as a coach for the last 20 years. But you're still going, aren't you? You plan to add to that plaque, don't you?
I hope to. I mean, if you're not a coach if you don't plan on winning. And I know we're going to work hard. We're going to, as I said, I really appreciate the plaque and such, but it's a waste of money because we're going to be adding to it. I mean, it's that simple. If I'm not going to coach as an AD, you better fire me. If I'm not coaching to teach these boys to wrestle hard, and we wrestle hard, we're going to win. And if I'm not doing my job, well, then you better let go of me.
Well, Mark, we hope that all our coaches think like that, and I think they do. So, but again, congratulations on the honors at this
Thank you.
time. Now, I'd like to talk to some of the committee members. I want to first thank all of you. The only one that's not here is Eric Fitzpatrick. Couldn't make it because he had to work. But other than Mark, who we kind of kept it a secret for obvious reasons, that he was not only an inductee but also a committee member. And thanks for that, Mark. Chris, tell us your feelings on why you wanted to be a part of the Hall of Fame here.
Well, it's a great honor to be a part of this committee, and it's good to see fellow classmates and fellow alumni get honored with the Hall of Fame, especially one of my coaches and some of my teammates to be honored in such a way that they'll be in our Hall of Fame for the rest of their lives, and hopefully maybe their children or their grandchildren will come back to Memphis and see that and be honored as well.
That's fantastic. And I know Eric shares in those sentiments. We've talked as well. Now, Ruth, you have one of the few that has the honors of being not only in this committee, but I believe you're on the committee the last time we had a Hall of Fame. Is that true? Or?
No, I wasn't. My cousin was.
Okay.
She was also in the Hall of Fame, so I'm really proud of her accomplishments. So I was truly honored to be asked to be in the committee, and I had my own opinions of who I thought should be in it. I'm just so glad that they've made that. They're inducted, so I can go now.
Oh, we're not letting you go.
It was wonderful.
Really good. Well, that's fantastic. And Ted?
It was a pleasure working with you this year. It's nice as a senior citizen getting involved with the school again. I played varsity ball from 64 to 68, baseball and basketball and football. Did a lot of coaching in Little League, coached junior high girls, did some refereeing, which was a mistake, didn't like that. But now getting back into it, it's really nice. It's, you know, senior citizens need to be some part involved with the school rather than just when it's time to vote and hear all the negative things. So it's a good positive thing, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, it's been our pleasure and my pleasure. Now, Gino, you have like three parts here. You're a committee member, you've coached here, and as Coach Meldrum said, your daughter played for his team, so you actually get your family gets honored as well as being a part of it.
Emily was, like Chris said, the point guard for that team, and I can still remember the year before she got brought up as a sophomore to play basketball for Chris, and they went to Armada to go play, and so he had them all going sitting on the bench, all the starters. And there was 4 girls sitting there, and Emily's standing there, and I can't remember who she said, but one of the girls said, "Emily, sit down." And Emily goes, "Am I starting?"
Oh,
So she wasn't really sure.
Right. Yeah.
I remember when she told me that story, and I just cracked up. But Emily put a lot of time in our driveway, shooting and dribbling, and especially dribbling. So when I told her about it, she was very, very excited. But she wasn't able to make it here this weekend because of work obligations. But she was very excited, and I know I still have every game on CD at home that I watch every now and then. The Algonac game was the most exciting game, but
Yes, yes, it was. That was,
trip double overtime for the Algonac game.
yes. I was gonna mention that, the Elginak, that was, I think, our second game of the year.
Second game of the year.
And against a very good friend of mine that coaches in Elginak, and Al Latos. That team was a regional finalist, I think the year before, maybe a couple years before, and where he had a young team. And we went there knowing it was gonna be a tough one. And I think we had a last second shot to tie it to go to overtime.
Last second.
And and then we ended up winning that game, and that was, put us at 2-0. And of course, ended up finishing 20-0. So that was a big game to get us started.
Mel had quite a coaching expertise because we had the ball and we had to advance it all the way down the court. So I think there was only like 15 seconds.
4 seconds.
Well, there was 15 or something like that, and then you advance the ball to half court.
Right.
And then he called another quick timeout. And
Yep. Set up a play. It worked.
it
I got
worked. It worked. But then it went into double overtime, and we won. I think we won by 3 or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was.
So exciting game. And then after that, it was just the girls just started playing basketball. We had a tough match with, was it Northern or Port Hope? Was it
Port Hope had a great team. Yeah, they had
Yeah.
two college players on that team for a small school, very small school. They had a great team.
So it was a
That'll
good
be a
year.
great year. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Exciting.
One of the reasons I'm proud to be a part of it is, coming to Memphis the shortest time as anyone here, was, looking at, not only our kids of today to give them something to aspire to, but like you said, Ted, I couldn't have worded it better, to get the community somewhat involved and letting them know how much they are appreciated, either, as community members now or when they went to school here, or the kids went to school here. And to give our kids, like I said, of today, athletes, something to aspire to, want to maybe be a part of and see their family members or their friends. So hopefully we're accomplishing that, and we're looking forward to Friday at getting together and having our, our first annual ceremony. And Chris, I appreciate all your hard work with your team, and we had the boys team that's being nominated as well, and some of their players and coach did some work. So. And yep, that's right, Jody is so.
I have to get equal time for the
Yes.
92 basketball.
Yes.
We went 22-0, and it was like a Memphis community affair. It was awesome. We had standing room only in the gyms for the basketball games. We had people follow them all around. My son and his, and the other one, Brett Goodme, started off both as freshmen. They were referred to as diaper dandies, and they went all the way through high school, and it was, you talk about, you remember those times, those shots, those games. We beat New Haven 3 times, which doesn't usually happen, and it was really
that was-
just
who
a
was the
great
coach?
time.
Who was the coach?
Tom Velko was their coach.
But that was back in the day when we were across the street
Right.
in the
Yep.
barn.
And,
Where, yeah,
and
it
fought,
was,
fought for gym time, where now
Loud
they
and
have 3
hot.
gyms in town, we had 1.
it
so.
was, that barn was a hopping, I'll tell you.
Dave Mino started the boys out and brought them up to varsity, but Tom Velko took over, and it was just a fantastic event for the community, and it was awesome.
See, another interesting thing was that these boys started playing basketball when they were in the 3rd grade, going down to the Detroit Athletic League, playing some really tough teams, learning what it was really like. And Brad Goodme, your superintendent, our superintendent now, played with them boys, and now he's the superintendent of the school, so it's interesting.
Driven by
That's
Ken
cool.
Helinski to all of these games, which is
So,
also being
we're proud of
inducted,
Brad.
so it's and Mrs. Jeffrey was my coach too, so that's.
Well, it's
She
no-
did the best she could, I guess,
It's no,
with me.
it's not hard to figure out. It's ironic that both those teams, what I've learned, Chris with your team and then with the 92 team, how successful a lot of those players have become in society afterwards too. That's the greatest thing that
You know,
we can share.
I can even give the props to that team. I graduated in '90 from Elginak, and we played them here in '90. They were sophomores, a lot of those, and we beat them. We beat them here. It was a great game, and I remember after that game, our coach saying, "That is going to be one heck of a team when these kids get to be seniors," because there were so many sophomores on that team that year. And sure enough, they were. And I got to be good friends with them, and of course I know Brett very well, and Jody, and all those guys on that team. They were.
Well, you jumped
were
ship and came
fantastic.
here, didn't you? You jumped-
Yeah, I waited for a while, but couldn't get in there.
Still in blue and gold, but.
Yes.
Well, I can't thank all of you enough. Chris, I can't thank you as, head coach and all your help that you've given me in getting your team here. Mark in both avenues, not only as the coach and what you've done here since I've been here as a head coach, but also as an inductee and as a committee member. And Chris, you and your brother Eric, thank you, and Ruth and Ted.
Thank you.
All the help you've done, and Gino, and it's been a pleasure. And we're hoping, Friday we can actually sit down and everybody enjoy this and have more stories to share with the other inductees. So, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I
Drake.
appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
for all you do.
Thank you.
Not only is this our Hall of Fame week, this is also our homecoming week here at Memphis. And the nice, unique thing about it is all our athletic teams have the opportunity of playing at home this week as well to celebrate at homecoming. We have our cross-country Memphis Yellow Jacket cross-country meet that's actually taking place right now. We're really excited about what our runners have done throughout the year. We're hoping that we have a few kids that can place today at our home event. Our junior high football team is also finishing their football season at home. This will be their last game here at our Memphis football field, and it's also parent night. We have our soccer team, which is in first place. They are playing Harbor Beach on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. And the unique thing about that is at 7 o'clock we're having our bubble match, which will be a bubble soccer match. And the kids will be playing soccer after their league game on the field, and that should be pretty exciting. Our girls volleyball team, which is young, but are definitely setting a few stings across the league in some of their wins, are playing at home on Thursday. And we're excited to have them be able to play in front of our crowd on Thursday at homecoming. And then Friday we finish our parade and our homecoming week with our football team, which will be playing their homecoming game against Sandusky. So the way our football team's been playing, we're expecting a big crowd and a lot of exciting plays on the field and off the field, and of course the Hall of Fame. So it's a big week here at Memphis. We hope you get a chance to come and enjoy it with us. Until next time, this is Drake Okie from the Memphis Team Report. Thank you and go Blue.
Oh my goodness.